Imagine a world not so different from our own, but where history took a sharp, unbelievable turn. Forget the roaring 20s as you know them. Forget the slow march of progress. Picture this. The year is 1900. The air is thick with coal smoke. Streets are filled with horse-drawn carriages, but in the hands of people in corsets and top hats are devices that flicker with digital light. Telegraphs don't just tap out messages, they display them on glowing screens. Massive, steam-powered engines, the heart of the Industrial Revolution, now power something else entirely, a global network. This isn't science fiction, this is a question. What if the internet, the digital web that defines our modern world, was born a century early? How would our history, our wars, our very society have been rewritten? Welcome to Unwritten Empires. The dawn of the 20th century was a time of incredible change. Cities swelled, factories churned out new marvels, and the world felt like it was shrinking thanks to the steamship and the telegraph. It was an age of iron, steel, and steam. But in our alternate timeline, a handful of visionary inventors, names you've never heard of like Alistair Finch or Eleanor Vance, didn't just see the potential of electricity and communication. They saw a web of interconnected thought. They weren't content with simple dots and dashes. They envisioned a network of machines that could share complex information, text, and even images, all transmitted through repurposed telegraph lines and newly laid copper cables. The first server rooms weren't sleek, air-conditioned halls. They were cavernous, hissing chambers filled with the rhythmic clatter of mechanical relays and the intense heat of steam-driven generators. Keyboards weren't silent plastic. They were heavy, brass and ivory contraptions that clicked and clacked with the satisfying thud of a typewriter. The first web pages were projected onto phosphorus screens, glowing green text against a black void, displaying news, stock prices and academic papers. In London, Paris, and New York, the first internet cafes, or telereading rooms as they were called, sprung up. Patrons would sit in plush velvet chairs, sipping tea while they navigated the burgeoning digital world through complex, gear-driven terminals. The digital revolution hadn't arrived with a quiet hum. It had burst onto the scene with a roar of steam and a shower of sparks. The impact was immediate and seismic. The very concept of news changed overnight. Newspapers, once delivered by shouting boys on street corners, were now instantly updated. A headline from a London paper could be read in San Francisco seconds after it was typed. This created a new kind of power, a new kind of celebrity, the early influencers. Orators and thinkers, instead of just speaking to halls of a few hundred, could broadcast their ideas to thousands through audio terminals connected to the network. Imagine listening to Mark Twain's latest lecture, live, from a terminal in your own home, his voice crackling through a brass microphone. Political leaders quickly grasped the power of this new medium. Presidents and prime ministers began sending e-grams, encrypted messages that zipped across continents, bypassing slow diplomatic pouches. Backroom deals and international treaties were negotiated in seconds, not weeks. The slow, deliberate pace of 19th century diplomacy was shattered, replaced by a new era of instant communication and rapid-fire decisions. But this new connectivity had a dark side. When Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated in 1914, the news didn't just spread, it exploded across the network. Panic, outrage, and calls for war echoed in digital forums and instant message bulletins across Europe. The Great War, when it came, was a conflict unlike any other. Trenches were still dug, and men still faced the horrors of machine gun fire. But the command structure was revolutionized. Generals in bunkers miles from the front lines viewed the battlefield not on paper maps, but on crude, pixelated digital displays, tracking troop movements in real time. Orders were relayed instantly, leading to faster, more coordinated, and devastatingly brutal assaults. The fog of war was pierced by a dim, digital glow. Soldiers in the trenches weren't just writing letters home. They were sending short, coded messages from rugged, steam-powered field laptops, their faces illuminated by the green light of the screen amidst the darkness of no man's land. This alternate 20th century saw the world transform at a dizzying speed. With a global network in place, scientific collaboration exploded, Imagine Einstein not working in relative isolation, but instantly sharing his theories of relativity with physicists across the globe, debating and refining his equations in real-time digital forums. Medical breakthroughs, new chemical compounds, and engineering marvels were developed at a rate previously unimaginable. The arts were also turned on their head. The futurists weren't just painting speed and machines, they were creating early forms of digital art, glitchy, abstract animations that captured the chaotic energy of the new century. Musicians composed electro symphonies, blending traditional orchestras with the whirs and clicks of mechanical computing. But with new technology came new threats. The first hackers, known as cablejacks, emerged from the shadows. These digital saboteurs could disrupt financial markets, steal state secrets, or shut down entire city power grids with a few clever lines of code typed into a custom-built terminal. Espionage became a digital game of cat and mouse, fought not in dark alleys, but in the glowing pathways of the global network. The world's great powers poured resources into building massive data fortresses, towering structures of steel and brass humming with the power of 1 million interconnected gears, all to protect their precious information. The skyline of 1930s New York wasn't just dominated by skyscrapers, but by these colossal steam-powered data towers, belching smoke as they processed the world's information. Think of the social implications. Would the women's suffrage movement have gained traction faster with the ability to organize online? How would the Russian Revolution have played out if both the Bolsheviks and the Tsar had access to instant mass communication? The possibilities are endless, and they ripple through every aspect of life. Fashion, language, philosophy, all would have been shaped by this premature birth of the digital age. The cultural revolutions of the 60s might have happened in the 20s. The information age wouldn't have been a recent memory. It would have been the foundation of the entire modern world. The entire 20th century, with its world wars, its Cold War, its ideologies, and its revolutions, would have been fought, won, and lost on this steam-powered, brass and copper internet. As we stand here and look back at this alternate timeline, we see a world both familiar and alien. A planet crisscrossed not just by shipping lanes and railways, but by a web of glowing cables, a nervous system for a civilization that leapt 100 years into the future. It's a world that solved some problems faster, but created new ones we can barely comprehend. A world of steam-powered code and digital empires built on a foundation of coal and iron. It forces us to wonder, was our own path, our slow, methodical discovery of the digital world, the right one, or did we miss an opportunity? This alternate past remains unwritten, a ghost of what could have been. How would history truly change? The answer is lost in the static of a timeline that never was. Thank you for exploring this alternate reality with us here on Unwritten Empires. If you enjoyed diving into the great what-ifs of history, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let us know in the comments what piece of modern technology you think would have most changed the past. Until next time, keep questioning history